Welcome to Because We Got High with Rhea, Kelly, and Bree. It's the first episode, everybody. Get fucking pumped up. It's your girls. It's your hoes. It's your bitches.
Yes.
It's your cunts. Are we doing that yet?
No, we can do it now. We can be cunts forever.
We knew we were gonna scare.
Yeah,
everybody.
We were gonna scare, or we could save that for C. Let's save that
We'll
for
save
C.
it for C.
Save the cunts for C.
We had planned on saving it for C. However, I don't know. I'm fine with being slapped the label of cunt for the entirety of this podcast.
I'm not mad.
Let's get to know them first. Let's
Yes.
get
Yeah.
them
Okay.
to know us first. You just
Right.
said. Say it again.
I did just say, I said, you know what, you guys, we're on a first date. I need everybody to forget everything they thought that they've ever known about us and just get to know us. Snuggle up, listen in, and get to know us really.
Yeah. You know where our heads are at right now. You must, okay? It's our first recording. We got prepared for this show. We got ready. We had a little fun before this episode, and we are prepared. Just a reminder as to how this is going to go. We're going through topics A through Z. And we're going to be talking about topics that just start with that letter. Anything that comes to mind, we're talking about it. This episode is A. So we got alcohol, anxiety, and asses.
Yes.
Thank you. Hip hop
Love
horns.
it. Yeah, hip hop horns.
Yeah, it's a big three.
It is a big three.
All pretty necessary to life if you think about it.
Yes.
In
And they
some
all,
capacity.
I feel like they all attain to us in like a specific way.
Very much so. Very much so.
You're right.
am.
And that is
Yeah.
exactly
So,
why we
yeah.
divided it as such.
Up
Yes,
to
we
three.
did.
Yes.
First topic we're going to talk about, and obviously, like we said, alcohol, anxiety, asses, they're all pretty relevant to life, right?
Yes, to
everyone.
Even to everyone,
everyone.
because even if you're sober,
Yeah.
you chose to not drink alcohol
Yeah.
for a reason.
There is
right?
it's a prevalent thing in our lives that
Yeah.
you either react to or you don't react to, but there is always a reason. There is always it's something for a reason.
And
Yeah.
you know someone that drinks. Everybody knows
Yeah.
someone that drinks.
Everybody, anxiety, everybody's got some sort of
feel like
anxiety
everyone
these
has
days.
anxiety.
Everybody's stressed out.
And you know
Especially
what?
I'm stressed as fuck, y'all.
The end of this year, everyone's fucking freaking out.
Oh yeah.
I have anxiety sitting here in this very moment.
I'm like, what's
absolutely.
going to happen next? I don't know.
like who knows? We
I've been
we're
moving my
all
feet for like
dealing
20
with
minutes. I
anxiety.
can't
stop
could
moving my
see,
feet.
I could see
Back,
the
yeah.
anxiety like pouring out of you, Kelly.
Yeah,
Please
it's
relax.
radiating off me. I just need to calm the fuck down. Look at how
Kelly,
much I'm sweating.
chill
Look how
out.
much I'm sweating.
Kelly just put her hand on the table
there's a
and there's a
hand mark.
handprint. That's how fucking sweaty she is.
But I'm like
Relax,
not even
bitch.
that anxious. I swear. I just like am sweating my dick off. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Well,
it's a
relax.
tough life.
Yeah,
it's a tough life
but
to
we're gonna
seem calm
chill
but
out, just chill
internally
out.
be screaming for help. So
Oh, yeah.
I feel that.
Yes.
We'll
All
get
my
into
anxious
that.
hoes.
We'll get
We'll get into it.
And of course, everybody has an ass. It may not be a
Yeah.
big one. It may be a small one. It may be juicy. It may be large, or it may be flat as a board.
Everyone has one.
Everyone
That
has.
sounded like
everyone
Dr.
has
Seuss
one.
a little bit. You're like, it might be large, it might be flat as a board. I don't know why your
I'm a poet,
diction.
and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Until now.
I hated that.
Yeah, me too.
I
Because
loved it.
You want to
I
know why
loved
I
it.
hated that? Because I stole that. I just
Of course you
stole that
stole it
from like from a show.
Sweet
From,
Life
like-
and Zach and Cody is the first time I heard that.
I feel
Oh,
like it was
really?
from like
Yes.
basicbitch.com. Like that's the thing. Like I'm
Yeah.
a poet and I didn't even know it.
Yeah,
Like I feel
like,
like that's a dad
so
joke to end
stupid.
all dad
Yeah.
jokes. But I appreciate the corn. I like
hate
I like
that.
a corny cheesy moment.
Yeah, it had to happen right there, obviously,
course it
because
did.
everybody said it in their head.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time we start off with the first A of the episode. It's alcohol, and who
alcohol.
else to lead us into this topic than Bree, the hungover alcoholic queen
Yeah.
herself?
I feel like I'm known as like the drunk girl, the girl that loves
Yeah.
alcohol, that girl that loves to throw up all the time, and the girl that's just like a drunk fuck. I just want everyone to know I'm more than that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you feel about that? Speaking as a girl who used to also be, all I did was drink, and that's all I would do. I didn't so much love it after a while.
yeah, I mean, like after a while, it's like everyone's like, go to AA, like you need help. And I'm like, realistically, I drink like just as much as the average college kid is drinking. I'm drinking on the weekends, but I do like alcohol takes up a lot of my life, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But I feel like alcohol, especially in people our ages, where as like our whole age category, like it's a range. I feel like
I
alcohol.
think we should say our ages. So
Oh yeah,
people know us.
let's break that
Yeah.
down. That is something that you can get to know about us
Yes.
on
Yeah.
this first
This
We
date.
will
one.
reveal our ages,
Yeah, we
or
can.
maybe we'll be lying. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bree, how
I'm
old are you?
21.
I am 23. Rhea.
And I'm 30, so it's so I've got some
Yeah.
wisdom.
Oh, there's
on
a
you
mom
bitches.
in the room.
Yeah.
No, I'm
and we
kidding.
all
I'm
still
so
I'm not
kidding.
a regular mom. I'm a cool, Mom.
So kidding. Kelly's legit one of my best fucking friends, and I love that.
I don't need to cry. That's sweet.
But I love that our age difference doesn't matter. Like, I don't feel like I'm young. You don't treat me like I'm younger, and you don't write me off as one of those young kids.
I hate when older people do that.
I think it's fucked up when you do that. I feel like people need to. I don't know. I love younger people, and I made a joke about this on Twitter, being like, "Oh, I could suck your blood, or I could just get a podcast with you, and then I'll feel young." But it is true. Like, when you hang around young people, it's like they experienced the beginning of their lives a little differently than you did. So it's funny to see a different perspective on it. As like, oh, you like I'm obviously friends with older people as well, and it's nice because I can like commiserate with them, but I commiserate with you guys in a different way, and it makes me feel better as a person. And so it's like doing a favor to me being friends with younger people, I feel.
Yeah, and I would say majority of my friends are a bit older than me.
I would say you have like I've always said that, like, you have like an older.
You have older. All of
older
your friends,
vibes.
I feel like, are older. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I feel like I just, I'm
well,
so fucking mature.
People always say that people always think I'm older, and I'm like, do I look old? And they're like, no, you carry yourself like you're older.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I feel like I'd rather be more mature than like.
I think it's a good thing because it's like you can have a conversation with them. Whenever I meet somebody who is so much younger, I met this girl at like a random party. I don't know how long ago, not like a small party. It was kind of recent, and she was, I want to say like 22, and she was like dating a friend that I knew, and so that's why she was there. And I was kind of like, oh, like, you're really sweet, you're really nice, but I could never have a conversation with her. And she was just, and I'm like, I'm sure you're great with you and your friends, but you're not giving me that vibe that you want to like sit down and break down the meaning of life with me. So we're not gonna get along.
Not gonna vibe.
Like, you haven't had enough experience. Like, call me after your first heartbreak, and then we'll just like split 14 bottles of wine and talk about it. Like, that's what it really is.
That's what Kelly and I just get fucking high and drink wine, and then I'll tell her about my problems, she'll tell me about her problems, and we don't ever really figure them out, but
you never figure it out. You just feel good talking about it.
Any of us have ever figured any of our problems out.
No, I don't think your problem being alcohol.
Let's get back to the start.
Okay.
Do you wake up in the morning and see this dream about alcohol? Do you wake up in the morning and do you say to yourself, I need a sip of alcohol?
Okay, so this is the worst
genuine question.
Preconceived thing about me.
No, I don't think it about you. I'm just wondering.
No, but everybody else does think it about me. So people think I wake up and I'm like, I need to get fucked up for like my podcast, my fucking TikToks, everything. No, all of my like content is revolved around all of my drunk mistakes and like all the crazy shit I've done when I was drunk, but I'm not drunk every day. And also, you have to remember, like, my whole brand is hungover. So I have a plethora of alcohols that I love, and I have so many alcohols that I hate. And I feel like everybody does. So I think what we need to do is break down like what is the best alcohol that makes you feel, like what is your number one alcohol and how does it make you feel, and then what is the alcohol that you absolutely fucking hate, because everyone has that one alcohol where it's like, I'm not going back to that.
No, I'm sorry. Like, I just can't. Like, if offered a shot, you have to simply refuse.
Over the shoulder.
Right. Or, yes. Or over the shoulder, on the floor, pass it to somebody. Like, everybody has that where you're just like, you know what? No. Like, I'm not trying to actually be thrown in the back of a cab by myself and fingers crossed I make it home. Like, I don't need that. Like, I need to,
I think also it's important because it's different for everyone to establish, because I've talked about this with like my friends from home, my friends from college, people that I've met here at Barstool. What is the age that you all started drinking at? Because it's different for everyone. Like, when is the first time you got
young.
Very young. People are going to be like, nope, you're the alcoholic. So the age I started at was like the first time I got fucked up, I was 13.
Damn, 13 so
fucked
up, like
grade
blacked
would
out?
That be?
Like, I was turning, so it was the summer going into my my freshman year of high school. So I was about to turn 14.
What? You're so young. Are you like a year younger than
I'm younger from my grade.
Okay,
so like I was about to turn 14.
Is it concerning that I find that a normal age to start drinking?
That's like, I think that's normal, but when I tell others, they're like,
I would say it's normal
going into high school, because you're like, I'm about to enter high school.
That's the first time I got like,
that's when you drink.
Well, that's what I feel like drinking for sure. I think at that same age, I was probably like, drinking the like pre-mixed mudslides and whatever, like that shit. But I don't think I was like fucked up until high school. Like I thought I was fucked up because I like had a sip of alcohol and it was like, whoa, I'm crazy. But in reality, in reality, it was like
everyone
one beer.
went through that too.
Yeah,
it's like
of course.
a sip and you're like, I'm fucked up. No, but my town got fucked up when they were
I have pictures of me in freshman year of high school laying on a basement floor with my hair spread out, my tongue out, and like my tube top falling down, basically like my boobs out. I'm so fucked up. And I literally remember having one beer. Like I did not drink more than one beer. I promise you that.
Exactly. I remember going I was hanging out with my bad influence friend at the time in like the 6th grade, I think, or maybe it was 7th grade actually, and we went to her aunt's house for like an Italian dinner, and we stole a bottle of wine, but it was like shitty wine, like it was like ShopRite wine, not like good wine. Yeah. And we were like upstairs drinking it out of like paper cups from the bathroom because we didn't want to bring cups upstairs to like show that we were drinking up there. And we came downstairs with like purple mouth, and nobody questioned us, nobody did anything, but we weren't like that fucked up. But I remember having like a hazy brain and being like, this is cool, like this is all right.
It was fun. The first time you got fucked up, was it like, because for me, I remember, I will never forget, I was in a basement and I was watching the movie The Dictator, and then all of a sudden so weird, I like kissed my best friend and we were like, let's fucking be in love. But then I was like, I'm like fucked up, and the whole movie started like swaying, and I was like, this is the craziest feeling I've ever felt. Did you guys like feel that the first time you got fucked up?
I can't remember.
I remember it vividly.
I would say, you know what, Brianna, you're like bringing back memories I didn't even know I had. Yeah. And I'm thinking, and I guess I was that young, because I think the first time I really did get super fucked up is we were taking shots of Sambuca in my friend's basement, but I wasn't friends with that girl after like the 8th grade. So I feel like that it must have been like around that time.
Yeah.
But we were taking shots, and I remember us all like, we changed into like our limited to tank tops, and we were walking around. We put on like all the music, so much 18s, like it was just a ridiculous amount of, like debauchery, quote unquote, because we were children. But I do remember thinking like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, I kind of can't feel my tongue. Like, I remember my mouth not being as fast as my brain was like a problem for me.
You guys sound like you were taking drugs. Your movie was swaying upside down all around. Your tongue went numb. Like, are you guys sure that you were drinking alcohol?
No, I think me and Kelly were getting like fucked up way too young.
Yeah, like I just didn't think I was.
But that's the difference. Like when I was younger, I could chug a water bottle of vodka. Now, one shot, I'm going to gag and throw up.
So do you like vodka? Let's talk about the types of alcohol now that we like and don't like.
My favorite type of alcohol, and this is like, nobody is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Angry Orchard is like the one thing I want to sip on, because
it is delicious.
It is delicious. And it's like the best thing that I can just like sip on and I don't want to throw up. But vodka. Oh my God, vodka. It gets me like the best drunk. Like vodka gets me the drunk where it's like, I don't want to fight anyone, which is like key. And I just want to have a good time. Like vodka is the best thing for me.
Are you a big fight girl? Like you get drunk and you fight people?
No.
I mean, I think that goes without saying almost. Like based on just your face.
Yeah, like you just said, that doesn't make me want to fight people.
Like she started asking that question and you were like, and I was like, okay, we're going to bring that up later for sure.
I feel like whenever like I'm drinking, I'm just like, we talked about this earlier, like when someone's doing something outlandish or saying something wrong, like we call them out on site. And whenever I
on site.
It's on site.
We call your ass out.
But like if you say something or
pull
do
up
something, we pull up on them right there. And then like I do maybe throw the first punch. I don't know. It's like
you throw the first punch.
I come from a place where it's like, dude, stand up for what you want. And also fighting is fun for me, and I don't condone it, but I love it.
So do you use the move where you pull the hair and you punch?
That's me. I'm a pull the hair and punch bitch.
I'm not a bitch. A straight punch.
Straight punch? Okay.
Good for you.
Good
for you. That's a strong motherfucker right there.
Strong ass, down ass bitch.
I'm a pussy.
I'm
down
proud
ass
of you.
Bitch.
I'm a pussy because listen to this. One time that I was ever in a physical altercation, I was at a bar. If you're from Long Island, then you know Daddy Locos on the Hofstra strip of bars. And they closed down because they let anybody in that place. Yeah, kinda though.
Pretty much.
Literally let anybody in that place drink. Like 18, you go in, we're fucking serving you alcohol. We don't care. Literally, no rules, nothing. So we all used to go to this place every week.
We could just like wash off the X's.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go in summer. Great time. We're going to Daddy Locos every week. I was obsessed with this place.
Love it.
Daddy Locos.
More and more people started to learn about Daddy Locos, okay? And they knew where people were going to be. Rewind to a year before this exact date. I was at a party, and it was one of those ABC parties, right? Anything but clothes.
Of course.
Right?
Love those.
And it was
were you
one
wearing
of those,
duct tape?
No. We did not
caution.
We didn't. It wasn't. It was like an open house party from people that we did not know, and we were just attending.
Damn.
And they put the address out there. So then my friend started posting the address to the open house party on Twitter. You know, this is when Twitter started to get people in trouble.
As you do is post addresses on Twitter,
right? And I responded to the tweet, and I was like, ABC, don't forget, don't wear your clothes, like being my fucking sarcastic, obnoxious self. These girls, they were so mad at the party. They saw the tweets, freaked out, whatever. We thought we were in the clear. Year later, around the same date, I'm standing in Daddy Loco's. This girl walks up to me. She says, "Hey, are you Maria Chiffo?" And this was before,
it was,
you know,
from
I never, like, I didn't work at Barstool yet. Like, nobody knew who I was in any way, shape, or form.
How old were you? Like 18 at this time?
Yeah, 18. 17? She's like, "Are you Maria Chiffo?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes." Like, I'm honored that this girl, random girl I don't know, is coming up to me being like, "Are you Maria Chiffo?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." She just fucking wound up and punched me right in the face. And I had a huge,
I wish I was
like,
there.
my nose was bleeding, huge fat lip. The guy I was talking to at the time was standing right next to me, and then she punched him in the face, and it was this whole big thing, whole big fight. I go home, I beg somebody to drive me home, because at this point, like, this is a whole massacre. I'm like, please, somebody just drive me home to my house. Like, just drive me home to my house, please. I get home, I wake up the next morning, I walk down the stairs, and my mom is like, "What the fuck happened?" And she's like laughing about it, like she's like excited for the story.
Yeah, like, what's the deal?
And I tell the story, and she's like, "Oh no, you didn't fight back." And I was like, "Well, no, she was
I'm mad at you
she
for
was
that.
way bigger than me. Like, she would have fucked me up. I know my strength. She would have fucked me up."
You still have
and
to
I
fight
was,
back.
I know. So my dad got home and was like, "You didn't fight back?" And he was like,
So your parents knew what's up.
They were like, "We always told you, if you ever get into a fight, you pull the hair and you don't stop punching. What the fuck is wrong with you?" I wasn't allowed out. They almost made me go to the cops. It was a whole thing.
Damn,
like,
you got in trouble for not fighting back.
I really,
get that.
I got in
parents.
trouble not for fighting. I got in trouble for not fighting back.
Sometimes,
As you should.
Sometimes
I feel like
that happens.
Now,
yeah.
next time you get into, if you were to ever someone to punch you in the face, you'd grab the hair. Punch.
And trust me, I would never not fight back after that.
Exactly.
After the lesson they taught me for that.
I would just think about it for the rest of my life and be like, I didn't punch her.
That's how I feel about almost every situation. Which, like, no one has ever told me to grab hair and punch but it somehow was instinct within me. I think because I'm like a weak looking person, I actually have a lot of rage, which people should like be afraid, because I don't have fear of like dying or
it
like
doesn't matter your size.
or like getting fucked up. Like I don't care about that.
You have rage.
No, like I don't have a fear of like that or like whatever. The rage overtakes every other fear that I have. And I've been in like a couple of fights, all pretty minimal, but the one that was my favorite personally was my birthday. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to school down in North Carolina, and I don't know why we were fighting with this bitch, but she came up to one of my best friends who has really long blonde hair, and she was like giving her the business. And I didn't really, and nobody like
for no reason.
Yeah, for like no reason.
Business.
And my friend now, who's like a mother, like she's like a mom, she was just like trying to be like, I don't know what the fuck this girl's talking about. Like she's cool. And all of a sudden this girl like grabs her by her hair and like wraps it around her wrist and is pulling it. And so me and my best friend from college see it and we're like, oh, fuck that. So we both at the same time instinctively didn't even look at each other, grabbed her both sides of the hair. And like I'm punching her on top, my friend's kicking her on the bottom, and then the bouncer, no, it was crazy. And so then she wouldn't fucking let go of our friend's hair. We're like, let go of her hair, and we'll stop beating your ass.
Yeah.
Like stop. And so finally, we get the hair out of her hands, and then we like throw her. I don't know. We just like pushed her away,
really?
and then the bouncer came over, and we were like, oh fuck. And again, it's my birthday. I forget how old I was, like 23, I think. And the bouncer comes over and asks us what happened. And we were like, she grabbed our friend's hair. We had to get her off, whatever. And he kicked the other girl out and let us stay.
And
so to this day, I'm like 100%. I was in the right for that fight. Like,
yeah, the champions. Did that start playing in the bar?
That's literally it. I wish
that
it
would
would
have been amazing.
I wish it would have.
That's
my favorite. That's my
awesome.
favorite fight story. But yeah, but the hair pull and punch is like an instinctive thing, because I never want my hair pulled to be punched, because I will be debilitated at that
exactly.
point.
Now, so vodka does not make you want to fight.
No, vodka does not make you want to fight.
What alcohol does make you want to fight?
The thing that makes me fight, Pink Whitney.
Damn.
And I drink it.
They're hockey bros.
And I drink it every weekend, so you can just only imagine.
Right.
Like, God, you're fucking up people every weekend.
It's like, dude, let's put the hockey pads on me, bro. Let's just fucking
the Boston
fight.
accent comes out.
No,
that's the thing too.
When
I get drunk, and especially when I go back home, because when I come back here, I'm like, settle down. Like the accent needs to go away. I stop doing the accent, but whenever I'm drunk, accent comes out in full force. And when I'm back with my friends, like full force accent, and it's kind of like, dude, it's embarrassing. Like I don't know. I don't like the accent. I don't like the Boston accent. I wish I didn't have it.
You think it's embarrassing? I think it adds character.
Yeah,
it adds character for sure. But like when I'm in Ohio and it's like, it's not embarrassing. It's annoying because people come up to me and they're like, where are you from? Like, let's talk about it. I'm like, I don't want to.
Like, I know where I'm from.
You should know.
Hear it in my voice.
You should know based on my voice that I don't want to fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel.
You want to talk about it? Let's fight, bro.
Yeah,
Like that's how it ends. And it's just like, I don't know. I feel like Boston people are just like exactly embodied in me. Like they're just drunk idiots that want to fight.
Yeah. So Pink,
and I love it. Yeah. I love it.
Pink Whitney makes you.
Whitney. That's something that makes me want to fight. Yeah.
And what was your favorites? Vodka,
Angry Orchard. Yeah.
What is your favorite alcohol, Kelly?
You know, I vary. I go all over the board. I'm a big wine bitch, which I feel like has been my my calling card for a long time. I like wine a lot. However, my problem now is like if I open a bottle of wine, I'm going to drink the whole bottle of wine. Like I never like to save wine or anything like that. So I just get like a fucking hangover, like in a way that it's like I don't need that in between my brain, migraine shit. It's the worst.
Hurts.
Yeah, it fucking hurts. So I would say if I'm casually sipping and I'm not like partying, I do like a bourbon on the rocks or like an old fashioned.
Get out of here!
It sounds so fucking douchey when you say it.
Yeah, you do.
It's so douchey.
Yeah.
But have you had an old fashioned? They're fucking sweet.
I
They're
wish
delicious.
I could be as cool as you. I wish I could be as cool as you. I wish I could sit down and say, "Yeah, give me a bourbon on the rocks."
See, but it sounds badass.
That sounds cool, but I can't drink it.
But it's really not if you fucking drink it because it's a sweet girly drink. Really, like I think that I'm like this tastes like candy versus vodka, which tastes like rubbing alcohol. So like I think that bourbon is like more of a pussy drink than vodka.
Maybe I need to get on it. I tried to drink Jack and Cokes after I watched The Dirt with Motley Crue.
Yeah.
And I literally was like listening to Motley Crue way too much because I go through phases like that.
Of course, same.
And when we went to the bar, I was like, I just want to be like Motley Crue, and I just like ordered Jack and Coke, and I sat there and I was like, this is. I'm like spitting it back into my fucking cup. It's disgusting. I like wine though, and I really used to be a tequila person. Like I really used to be
never.
Like,
that was your jam for a minute.
It was
the
my
shots.
jam, but I've had on and off relationship with tequila for a long time because tequila got me into a really bad fight, not physical, like screaming match with one of my best friends that still haunts me to this day. No joke. I like regret it so much.
What was it about?
But it also. I don't even really remember. It was like my first year of college, and I think it was about Ubers, like
something stupid,
something very stupid. Like you got the Uber and you didn't do anything else, and like that sort of thing. Like very, very dumb.
Of course,
haunts me to this day.
Those are the worst fights.
The first time I ever hooked up with my boyfriend, Hank, tequila. So it's like, okay, there's some good times, there's some bad times, but. It tastes disgusting, obviously.
So bad.
I can't even smell it.
No, me neither.
Like thinking
and now
about
hand sanitizer nowadays smells like tequila.
That was the first thing I noticed when like nail salons opened back up in New York, which I know is like an absurd thing, but it was something I was really looking forward to. And I was like, oh, let's try it out, see what it is. They have all the sheets of plexiglass between like the pedicure seats. You walk in though, they take your temperature and they make you use their hand sanitizer. And apparently that hand sanitizer is made with like the excess alcohol from like alcohol companies that have like donated it, and so they can turn it into hand sanitizer because it is technically alcohol. So when you are going into it and you're smelling tequila, it literally is tequila that you're smelling.
It smells so bad.
But I also want to say
that
really
just
quickly,
made me get really nauseous.
That just it kind of reminded me of something that I researched and prepared for this time.
Oh yes.
I don't think that the hand sanitizer using alcohol, I don't think that's going to keep alcohol in business as much as we need to now. Because ladies, I got to tell you, alcohol is in trouble right now.
Why?
We as a society,
let us pray.
Bought too much alcohol in the year 2020, so much so that the expectations for 2021 sales are so high that there will be like a depression in alcohol sales if we don't buy as much alcohol.
So
like the alcohol industries will struggle in 2021 because people bought so much in 2020 that now their goals are like too high. They're too realistic. People aren't going to be, well, maybe they will be, who knows? But like probably aren't going to be like buying it by the gallon like we were in 2020. So
because everyone was so you're saying everyone in 2020 was so suicidal and they were just like, we're stuck inside. Everyone was getting fucked up. Like I know I was. Were you guys?
Yeah. Like I drank more fucking seltzers than anything I ever had in my whole life.
I didn't
Doesn't matter what the
at
brand.
all.
Well, you got fucking high.
I got high. All day, every day, but I did not drink, which was a bad move by me because now I drink a lot. Like I went through a phase during quarantine where I didn't drink at all, and now I drink too much, I think.
I'm the exact opposite. I drank a lot at the beginning with all my friends. We were all like, it almost felt like a snow day every day at the beginning. It was like, we all go to my one friend's house who's in the neighborhood and like, this is our quarantine pod, this is our COVID crew. Like I have a text message chain named that. Like that's our crew. And we would just drink like seltzers and Prosecco, and it was just like a party at 4 p.m. every day. And then all of a sudden it was like, all right, well, now it's cold. I think we're all just going to sit in our houses. I'm just going to smoke weed and sleep. Like that's literally all it is.
And now like I need an edible to go to bed.
Yeah.
Like it's like if I don't take an edible, I'm staying up all night.
Well, Kelly, to your point, I do think that the alcohol sales will be just as high as 2020. I do. I think that.
Do you think so?
I think that this is not turning around anytime soon. Things are getting worse before they're getting better. I think at this point.
I agree.
2025 will be my year.
2021 does turn around and say, everybody gets vaccinated and everybody's allowed out on the streets, people will be partying so fucking hard
that it's really
the alcohol sales are going to live up to it.
That's a very, very good point.
I hope
so too.
Don't you guys want it? Like, do you guys like? I don't think you do. Do you like going to the club and like partying?
I am a club bitch on like you have to catch me on the right mood, or if it's like a spontaneous thing, like if you call me up and you're like, we're going to the club, let's go. I'm like, fuck yes, let's go. But if you're like, hey, next week we're going to the club, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like,
so
now
what's everyone's ideal alcohol night? So like, what's your like? I want to get fucked up, but what's your like ideal drinking night? Like personally, my ideal drinking night, I think now it's like a kickback, like chilling with my friends.
I love a kickback.
I love that. But I do love a club. You love club?
Yeah, you're a club bitch for sure.
I am a club bitch. If I am going out, it's got to be the club. Like I don't like just going casually to the bar. Like, hey, I'm gonna grab a few drinks with my pals, my buddies. Like I don't want to do that. If I am going out, I like to go to the club, and this is my perfect ideal night out. I am pre-gaming at my apartment or somebody's apartment. Me and Kelly have had this exact night out together.
Can you just describe the night of Marquee?
Yes, because actually the last time that we went out before the pandemic hit, me and Kelly did go to a club, and I did call her up at like 12 a.m. and was like, bitch, we're going to the club. Come to my apartment. So
is the same night as like some Fury fight, like whatever the Fury fight was.
Yeah, not Tommy Fury, his brother, Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury,
yes. It was that fight. And so my perfect night out would be pre-gaming at my apartment. Probably, I'm thinking mixed drinks of some sort just to get me there. Because listen, I don't love the taste of alcohol in any way, shape, or form. Anything. I like wine with like an Italian dinner or a steak or something like that.
No, I don't want shots.
But I don't like the taste of alcohol, which is why I like smoking so much. And I like to smoke before going out because it makes me like happy and excited and dance. Like it does all those things for me that I don't know if it does for a lot of people. Sometimes people just get really sleepy or whatever it is.
That's me.
So drink pregame, get a nice backwood blunt, smoke that, get into the Uber, show up to the club, dance in the club, bring a joint with me because during the club I'm gonna have to go outside and take a smoke break.
I'm gonna start
Kelly has been a part. Kelly has been a part of this
mid-club smoke break. That's like my that's. I like to smoke weed before the club. I like the mid-club smoke break.
I am
important.
Always ready for a mid-club or bar smoke break. I always bring a joint with me out because I know that at some point I'm gonna be like, I wish I could like get that little high going right now while I'm out, and then I ask whoever smokes, hey, want to go outside, and then that's it. That's my ideal night of drinking. Like I don't like to just go, hey, let's go to the bar and sit around with no music playing. Like I need to
that's my worst
fucking dance.
Music is important.
That's
music
like
is
me.
So important.
I
What's
love
your night
so
out?
I will say I love music. That's like my most important thing. I have two like equally good nights out, I would say. One would be like a chill hang with all my friends where we watch music videos on YouTube for like hours. That's my favorite shit. I love it.
Old music videos
is my favorite thing to do. And then same time, either like I don't even really care about a pregame so much. I like to go to a bar at like 5, 6, like happy hour time, and then have it turn into like a nightmare, like whatever it is. It's like it can either be like we're all too fucked up at the bar. I like a bar where you get like a Cheers vibe. I always say I had this one bar. It just honestly closed near me. I'm really depressed about it, but I called it my Cheers bar because it was like everybody knows your name, like that's your thing, and you get to know the bartenders, you get to know the people that go there, and it gives you like that sense of community you don't realize you wanted. You're like, oh, how fun. Like, I never thought I would ever have this little like crew at this bar. Like, how cool. And then you go and you love it. And then, everybody gets fucked up, but nobody is like your responsibility. They're not like your real friends. Maybe you bring a couple of real friends with you, but they like the atmosphere too. I think that kind of shit's really fun.
Maybe it's like your work friends.
Yeah. Like, or like one, I'm like, hey, I always am like, come to my Cheers bar, as if it's like I'm luring them into a trap. And then like I know everybody there, so I look the coolest. And then like, we just have a good time and we get fucked up, and it's like a sense of,
basically it's about making you feel good and cool and popular in your bar.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Basically that with like, maybe free drinks, but it's still being served drinks. Yeah. That's really what I like.
That sounds wonderful.
It is wonderful.
I think that sounds wonderful too. That makes
it
but
is nice.
All of us talking about
but like
all this
not
right now,
my ideal thing to do.
No. I say, but I also I will
but
say
at the same time, like I want to dance somewhere.
I love those other things. I love a
vibe
dance,
too, but
I love a
that
club.
Too.
Yeah.
But this, all of us talking about this makes me want to cry. Like, this is what I want to do.
I know. But
that's what I thrive
nostalgic.
But you know what's the good thing about this is that we're not getting the drunk anxiety the day after of like going out.
That's
because
true.
That
so true.
is so bad. It quite literally ruins my life. Like,
my lips fall off because I pick them so hard after a night.
I'm like literally like right now.
Like that. That's like a physical issue.
Oh, I have a physical anxiety. Like that's my bad thing with anxiety. Whenever I have, especially hangxiety, I pick my lips and like they bleed. Like that's like my one tick while I have anxiety.
Oh no,
that is the worst. I will say, I wrote this down also from before. I think that that hangover anxiety or high anxiety are so much worse than like regular sober anxiety. Only because,
worse or better?
Sorry, better. Exactly the opposite of what I'm saying.
I was gonna say, whoa.
Better. I would say worse as far as like intensity in the moment. Better in general, because usually it's like unfounded. It's like, oh, I'm anxious for no reason. So it's like, oh, fine. When you come out of it, you're like, or when you're not hungover anymore, you're like, oh, now I actually feel okay. But in that moment, it's like the, oh my God, I have to sit in the fetal position. I need a cold compress. I need a fucking bagel. I need a Gatorade. Like it's that kind of shit.
It's harder. It's like physically harder.
Physically, yes. Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Hangover or hangxiety eats me alive like no other. Like I will sit and replay every single thing I said when I was drunk or whatever it is. I will talk to anybody about it who will listen to me. I'll be like, this happened last night. Do you think that's okay? This happened last night. Do you think that's okay? And they're like, yes, Rhea, of course it's okay. Why are you even asking us those questions right now? So I think I would rather have the regular anxiety that I get than have the hangxiety. Except the high anxiety is like it comes all the time, so it's kind of like whatever. The high anxiety it comes and you get through it, and you're like
totally.
Mine's the opposite.
The high anxiety comes through, and it feels as bad as sober anxiety, but then you realize you're like, oh shit, no, I'm just really high. Like that's that feeling of like you catch yourself. For example, I'll be sitting on my couch and I'll be like, fuck, like, what did I say? Like, did I do this? Like, I really need to do this. I should have called my mom. I should have did this plan. I should have done this and whatever. And then I realize it's like 3 a.m. and I'm like, wait, chill. You're just so high. It's 3 a.m. You could just do it in the morning. And it's like not a big deal. And once you realize that, you're like, oh my God, I feel amazing now. But in that moment before you like talk yourself down, it's the fucking worst. Like it's just, it's painful.
This is crazy because I feel like everyone would think I have the worst anxiety because I'm like the drunk girl. But everything I do when I'm drunk, I just feel like that's the best version of myself. Like, I feel like when I'm drunk, that's like, I don't get stressed out. When I wake up, I'm hungover and I'm like, the hungover vibes for me are personally amazing. Like, I want to get in my car. I want to roll the windows down. I want to like listen to music. But when I smoke, I feel like I get paranoid and I do stupid shit. And like when I'm smoking, I think people are like looking at me like, what the fuck is that? Like, did she just twitch? Like, what did she just do? Like, she looks
like
stupid.
You think people are watching?
I think people are watching me.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
So I think for me personally, like smoking anxiety is worse than drinking anxiety because I think I'm just like the best version of myself when I'm drinking.
You know what? The thing that people say is that really helps me when I think, because I do think that often, like, everybody's looking at me and they know I'm high and I'm freaking out. Nobody is thinking about you because they're thinking about themselves.
100%.
Yeah. Like, think about it. You're thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
So what is that person across the room thinking about? Themselves. Everybody is so
when
fucking
you're high,
selfish.
you don't think
so selfish. So
Everybody is so vain and self-absorbed. They're always thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
Like
that's so true.
That's my favorite thing.
But you don't think about that when you're high or when you're drunk. You're like, eyes on me. But it's like, bitch, shut up. No one cares.
Like,
also,
literally no one.
Another thing. You're putting on a show, if anything. Like, you ever see somebody on the street doing something weird? You look at it, you laugh at it, you talk about it in that moment, but you don't go home and talk about it. No. It was a little entertainment passing by. So if you're high and you're twitching, it's like, free show.
Maybe someone saw you walking by, like, exactly.
Free show. Thank you. Thanks for the laughs.
I want to bring this to your ladies' attention. I have a couple of definitions of anxiety.
Oh, okay. What are they?
And they're both from UrbanDictionary.com, the only source I trust. The top definition was, anxiety is the biggest bitch you will ever meet. Only thing is it's inside your head. Damn.
That's a damn good one. And it's just so... It's so true.
It is so true.
It's something that everybody is dealing with more than ever right now, I think. I think that it has escalated to new heights.
This is the height of it all.
Oh, yes. Like, I feel like in the past few months, I reached my breaking point to the point where I started back at zero. Like, I went so overboard with the anxiety that I was like, I don't even think I'm anxious about anything anymore because I'm anxious about everything. That's just me as a person.
You're just exhausted. Like, I'm exhausted at this point. Can I just chill?
Yeah, my whole body is anxiety.
Everyone has accepted it. They're like, I just have anxiety. This is just
about silly things. Like stupid, silly things eat me alive. Like, I feel you. Like doing a white elephant gift exchange, right?
Oh, fuck. Fuck that.
Think about...
That was created to torture someone with anxiety, I swear.
A white elephant gift exchange with a very small group of friends.
Just tell me what to get.
I could not stop thinking about it for hours, for days. My stomach hurt. I was nauseous. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna like my gift. Like, it wasn't even about like I brought weed. I literally brought weed as my gift.
Like the gift
Fine
itself.
Gift. Everybody's gonna like that gift. It's the act of giving the gift to a group of people and them, opening up. What will their reaction be? But also, why would their reaction hurt me that much? It all goes in a circle. You talk yourself into an extreme circle that's just never ending. I feel like, this is when I was younger, I didn't know anxiety was a thing, and I thought I was having a heart attack. Mm-hmm. So when I was 14 years old, I told my parents, I was like, I have like compressions on my chest. Like, I feel like my chest is
there's a tightness in my chest, Mom and Dad.
I'm having a heart attack.
Can we maybe 13. Go to the hospital?
So they're like, okay, let's go to the hospital. And I was like, we're like, okay, we're going to get an EKG. Like, we're going to check your heart rates out. And they're like, honey, you have like really bad anxiety. And I was like, no, I don't. Like, I don't care about anything. And I think that's when I was like, fuck. And then when they tell you out loud you have anxiety, it makes it worse because everything you do forward, you're like, okay, well, I need to think about this 10 times harder. Like, now it's going to freak me out more.
I'm going to have anxiety about this. So now I need to preemptively think about what I will be anxious about. Like, that's like the ultimate. The heart thing, I think it was now 2 years ago. I have had anxiety like my whole life. Like, just cripplingly so. Mm-hmm. And but also never really did much about it. Like, just a lot of complaining. I've gone to a therapist. I've tried Lexapro once and like that. It just nothing really vibed. A couple of years ago, I was having honestly, my life is different now. Xanax is my creme de la creme, but I can't get the prescription because I would take it all the fucking time.
It would be hell.
It would be so bad. But I
had a prescription once.
Yeah, it's like you can't. I also had a small prescription once, and I was like, I can't get this refilled because I will just be like a floating zombie cloud.
Yeah, you don't want
forever.
that.
No one wants that.
And so I was having really bad panic attacks for like a week long, and I couldn't figure out if it was panic attacks or not because it was so much more intense than it usually had been. And I was like, I think something's fucking wrong with my heart. So I went to the hospital. My mom works at the hospital, so it's not so weird to say that I went to the hospital, but she had one of her like friends look at me.
We didn't think it was weird anyway.
Well, I wasn't trying to be like.
I promise it's not weird. I went to the hospital.
I went to the hospital.
Okay.
Like I went to the emergency, like because she works in the emergency room. I don't want to be like I went to the emergency room because I thought I was dying. It's like no, I just went.
You just wanted to see your mom.
It was basically like a checkup. Yeah, I was like, oh, check me out, and like so they did, and I ended up having to wear a heart monitor for like a couple weeks.
I remember this.
And it was
weird.
It was the fucking worst. It was weird. It was the fucking worst. It was also weird because I like couldn't stop talking about it. I was like, everybody needs to know that this is happening. Like I felt like I needed to talk about it
all the time.
Girl in middle school with the knee brace.
No, but this was like Brianna. This was like 2 years ago.
It was so recent. It was so recent. But I was like, I have to talk about it because I felt like it would be weird if I didn't. So I was like, I gotta tell everybody I know, like, or else they're gonna be like, is that girl wearing a heart monitor? Like, I didn't want. That was my anxiety, like helping with that. Turns out I just had really bad anxiety, and so they would like call me or something if it would spike, like if the if it was too high. And I got only one call, and she was asking what I was doing, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just sitting here like watching a movie." And she was like, "You're just watching a movie right now?" I was like, "Well, I was zoning out a little bit. I was like thinking about like my ex-boyfriend, and I'm like, whatever." And then she was like, "Okay, all right, thank you. Just making sure like you're fine." And then once I took it off, I sent it back, and they just said like, "You just have like really bad anxiety. You should probably get that checked out." And I was like, "Wow, okay. Good to know."
And then continued to not
and then
do
I just
anything
did nothing about it.
it.
Yeah. So then I started smoking like a lot more weed. And to be honest, I feel way better.
Yeah.
Like I know that that's a crazy thing to say like for some people, but the weed thing, like having that as an option even is almost like it's like a safety net.
blanket.
Yeah. It's like if I wanted to, I could smoke weed and feel good. But I could probably make it through this minute. Like, can I?
Maybe not.
Or maybe not.
maybe
not.
My heart monitor is going to explode.
Right. Like I have more confidence in like maybe I will make it through the situation because if I don't, there are like remedies at the end.
Exactly.
That I've prescribed myself.
I go to therapy every week, and I don't understand it still.
Therapy's hard.
It's been a few months, and
I refuse.
Listen, Brianna.
We all need to be in therapy. That's a fact.
I refused for like a long time. Well, actually, I would say that my parents like weren't super. I don't even know what the word is. Not aware, but they just didn't really get like, about mental health. Like, some people have anxiety and depression. They would kind of just be like,
same.
Oh, why are you worried about? There's nothing to be worried about. And then they would just like write
relax.
it off.
Don't be sad. You're fine.
Yeah, like you're fine. Oh,
what
you're
are you
fine.
worried about? Like nasty.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, until
that makes you go crazy.
Yeah, my brother, he ate an edible once that too much. He was very new to it, to a point where it fucked him up badly that he had derealization, I think is the word for it.
Oh, wow.
Where you like
he was fucked up.
You do not feel like for months after, like you do not feel like you were here. Like
disassociation.
Disassociation. Derealization is definitely not the fucking word.
I was like,
for that.
I get what you're saying.
Wow.
Disassociation.
And he would always say to us, he would always be like, guys, like he would start freaking out all the time randomly. He'd be like, I don't feel like I'm here. Like my parents would be like, oh, stop it, and like laugh at him until the point where he was like, I need to go to a doctor. Like somebody needs to help me the fuck out. Like I need to go to a doctor. And then from that point on, my parents like finally learned like, oh, whatever. So then this year they were like, you got to see a therapist. And then they really started getting on the train. They were like, you have to go. And I was like, oh, I really should go. So I started to go, and it's almost like I'm always, right, like I always am overthinking, I'm anxious, I have like these depressive episodes where I just get really sad or whatever it may be. And then I get into therapy and I'm like, I have nothing to say to you. Like I almost feel like I'm making things up sometimes. Like
with
that's
therapy,
why I don't want to go.
Yeah,
like,
that's how I felt. With therapy, I felt like I almost needed to like take notes on the week prior so I could bring something to talk to. Like as things happened, I would think like, oh, I should bring this up in therapy, and then I'd fucking forget.
Yeah,
like
it does.
Like I'm fucked up, but I don't know why to bring. I don't know what to bring up. Like I know I'm fucked up, but I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
I have no problem telling people like what my issues are in any way, shape, or form. So I will tell you guys, I will tell literally anybody who will listen to me. So I'll tell my therapist anything. I'm just talking to her about my life. And then I sit there, I'm like, do I even have any problems? And I think that's why it helps me.
Yeah.
Because by the end of it, I'm like, that all sense. She probably hears so much worse than that. She's probably like, why is this bitch coming to me? Like, stop. She's probably like, why are you coming to therapy?
That too, I feel like is a way where, but that's also something that says something about you where you're like, oh, I feel like my problems are so minuscule compared to like other people's. But for you, they're like your real fucking problems. Like you shouldn't feel bad going in there.
No,
It's
I know.
true.
See, this is another thing where like I get worried where I'm like, oh, like I have, I'm so anxious.
I do the
but then,
same
like,
thing,
also,
though.
are
That's
my
what I'm
problems
saying.
like big enough? Like,
Right.
because
Right,
then
like,
I'm like, people have it so much worse.
Of course.
And then I start feeling bad about that. I start feeling guilty for feeling sad because I'm like, oh, people have it so much worse. And it's just a never ending cycle. I feel
guilt.
like anxiety
It's just guilt. Like I feel
Yeah.
like anxiety a lot of the time is like, guilt a lot of the time is mistaken for anxiety because like I feel like I have guilt about everything. Like I'm always guilty. I'm always nervous, and that like kind of stems. Like my anxiety kind of stems from that, like, oh, I don't, like, I want to feel sad right now. I'm depressed because like, whatever, but there are people dying and like this kind of shit, or kids are starving and that, whatever that argument is.
Somebody did message me and they said, why do I feel like my anxiety is at its worst when everything is going right for me in life?
Yeah,
and I feel like that is the truth for
like
a lot of
when
people.
it happens
because you're like,
happens when you least
going
expect
good.
it.
What is going to go bad? Something bad has to happen.
Well, I have a
because that's
question.
life.
I have a question for both of you guys because you both go to therapy. So
Kelly does not go to therapy.
I don't.
Oh, you
I have been on.
I thought you did.
No, I did. I have gone.
you have.
I will go back.
But this
She
doesn't
says-
when I figure it out.
This
Yeah,
doesn't
I will
really
go.
have anything to do with like a therapist, but I like when I have anxiety or when I'm going through anything just like in my head, mental illness, whatever, I don't want to talk to anybody about it. Do you guys like talk to someone about it, or do you just, because I think my problem is I'm like, nobody wants to hear this. This is like weird.
Yeah.
And I know it's not weird and I know it's not embarrassing because fucking everyone goes through it. But I'm in my head like, no one cares. So I'm just like eating at myself. So it like fucks me up. That's why I feel like my anxiety gets worse. Do you guys like talk to people about it?
I'll talk to someone when it's like the last fucking resort. Like if I am sitting in my room and I've cried like 3 or 4 times in one day, I'll be like, okay, maybe I should call one of my friends. Like the other day I had this. I was right after I got home from Christmas. Like the holiday season like kind of stresses me out. It's like not I don't know, I'm stressed out. And I got home to my apartment and I like just kept crying over dumb shit. And then I decided to call like one of my good friends who I hadn't talked to in a couple days. And I like, under the guise of like, I wanted to figure out what I wanted to eat for lunch. I was like, hey, like, do you have any suggestions like what I should get for lunch? And also I'm just like really upset because like, my mom and I got in a fight and like whatever. And just like, it's almost like I have to trick myself into like letting people know that I am upset because I'm like that, where I'm like, nobody wants to hear my bullshit. Everybody has their own shit. I can't burden them with my own problems. It's like, that's how I feel.
No, I get to the point where I have to tell, like, for a while, actually, I feel like I would always be like, haha, like try to make a joke out of the way I'm feeling because I'm like,
of course.
Oh, I'm so
I'm
upset
okay,
and I like want to
Humor's-
jump off a bridge.
yeah.
But like,
Literally me every day. I'm like, blah, kill myself.
but like on the inside, I'm really falling apart. And I feel like in these recent months, I reached a point where it got so bad that I had to tell somebody. Like it was like, I was having thoughts and feelings that I had never had before. So it was like, I have to tell, like, I don't know what is going on with my brain, but I have to tell somebody. And also I'm kind of the type of person that like once something gets on my brain, like I have to let it out. Like I have to tell somebody
Totally get
or
that.
like an idea or, mainly ideas or like I do it with the podcast all the time. I'll just like text Noah, who's producing this podcast as well, like 8 times in a row where I like out of nowhere, like when things hit my brain, I'm like,
You got to get it out.
I got to get it out.
Yeah.
It's got to come out.
I think that like it's good that all 3 of us are different. Like Kelly's like, I have to trick people into it. Rhea's like, well, it gets to a point where bitch, I have to fucking tell someone, and I'm just like, we're gonna hide it. We're good.
We're
like
gonna shove it all the way down.
everyone, like listening, especially, they're all gonna deal with it differently. And I think that's what like is important. You just need to recognize you have anxiety because if
totally.
you don't, you're like, you're gonna kill yourself. Like, and I don't mean like you're gonna, but like you're gonna kill yourself mentally. Like you're just gonna fucking hate life.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think too the stigma of anxiety nowadays is not as like bad as it was before. I feel like before it was like, oh, you have anxiety, and people think like almost think less of you or think like, oh, you're weak-minded or you look at all these like old TV shows and somebody mentions therapy, somebody mentions whatever, and the implication is like, oh, you're a pussy because you have to go to therapy. Especially men specifically are like are always have that kind of stigma that it's like lame to go to therapy or
That's
whatever.
sad.
And it is sad. I think it's crazy. I'm thinking back specifically to like the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like Lisa Vanderpump's husband Ken like implies that Taylor and her husband are like weak-minded for going to therapy. Taylor's husband later killed himself, by the way. So it's like
my
fuck
God.
off. You know what I
Fucking
mean?
terrible.
It's awful, but it's
And
like
that's why people
you
lead
see
to that
shit and you're like, well, what the fuck?
You make them think that.
Right. And so it's sad to see, like, I guess, people in older generations, kind of like our parents. My parents are similar in that way too. They get progressive to a certain point, but they inherently are like, get over it. Like, you're all right. Like, deal with it.
You're fine.
Like,
Just
whatever.
be happy.
You're fine. You're fine. Like,
just be happy.
What is there to be upset about?
Right,
You got a cute dog, a great boyfriend.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
that has
but it's
nothing to
also
do with
right.
it.
It's like those are the only reasons I'm not killing myself.
Like that's actually why I'm happy.
It's the bitch in my head telling me that I need to jump off of a cliff.
Demon that comes alive.
I want to give you ladies one more anxiety definition from Urban Dictionary. It is the fifth definition, and it is anxiety, a feeling typically meant to ruin your life, can be compared to Remy and Ratatouille, but is not there to help you in any manner. So I think that's also good.
Spot on.
Yeah, that is spot on.
Can I also tell you guys though, I could talk about anxiety for the rest of my life. I think truly so many stories, so much bullshit. Can I tell you a little insecurity anxiety that I have?
Yes.
Lay it on us.
For some reason, people seem to think that I have like a dump truck ass. And I have been perpetuating that rumor for years.
You're just
and
living
letting them
off
think
of it,
that.
feeding
just
off
a
of it.
Fat
And in
ass.
real life, I don't know where they got that. I don't.
I think,
And I have anxiety about
it all stems
people
from
are going to
social
see
media.
me. Right. Well, people are going to see me and in real life and be like, let down because like, damn, she don't got that dump truck that I thought she did. What the fuck? Like, they're gonna be so mad. I have like a little bubble butt, but it's certainly not a dump truck.
You don't have a butt that you look at and go, oh, she has no butt.
Yes,
You just don't have a butt that you look at and go, damn, she's got a cake.
No,
like,
no.
That's just not it.
There's no cake in this place. It's like cupcakes at the most, like little
like two little cupcakes.
Couple cupcakes. Yeah.
On the cheeks.
That's what I got going on. But it's giving me anxiety, and it's,
Yeah, this
It's
leads
not
us to
great.
the third A.
Yeah,
asses.
that's what I'm saying.
We're
Leads
talking
us to
about
the third A.
asses.
Social media makes us think we need to have the fattiest, dumpiest truck in the world to be appreciated. And then it gives us anxiety. But I think like asses in today's world are so prevalent, like they need to be talked about.
They're the hotness, right? Like at what point did you guys start to notice that like asses were the hotness? Like I
When
feel like
I
it was
got
only
a
a couple
big
years
ass.
ago.
When I got a fat ass. When people
That
started
makes sense.
making comments about my ass. Having ass, not an anxiety of mine.
Throwing ass.
Having an ass, not an anxiety of mine. But I don't have like we were talking about this. I don't have like that fake ass on Instagram,
No, you got that ass.
You don't got
I
that
have
BBL
double.
ass.
No,
Yeah.
I have like a double cheek.
Double-cheeked up
ass.
on a Tuesday.
Yeah, a double cheek ass with like cellulite on the bottom.
like
as
a
well.
real
like
ass.
a real fat ass.
We got the fattiest, cellulitest, dumpiest ass in the club.
sitting right here. You're listening to her. No, the thing is, like, you're right, social media, because they present such a perfect body, but I feel like seeing so many of these people in person now has made me realize that like social media really is not real for like extreme Instagram influencers.
It's some bullshit. It's always been some bullshit. And
Can we
I'm glad
start
people
off
know that
with
now.
the worst asses, like social media asses, because I have a lot to fucking say. So the first, the social media asses that we see. Obviously, I mean every picture on fucking Instagram it's edited, it's fake, whatever. But these asses, they're like surgically fake.
These asses.
These motherfucking asses that everyone's
Ass
talking
cheeks.
about.
They're crazy.
You see them in real life.
wagons.
They don't have what is the most crucial part to an ass to me, the thigh to ass ratio.
Very
which
important.
you have, which we
Thank you.
Rhea, you have the thigh to ass ratio. Kim K doesn't.
And what do you
Does
mean by
not.
thigh to ass ratio?
Okay,
like
so
the big thigh
This is
matches
what I'm saying.
the ass?
If you're
or
gonna
like-
have a fatty dumpy, you need to have the fat thighs to mass it. And I'm not saying like
it's
fat
true.
in a bad way. I'm
No,
saying
like
like
thick,
PH,
thick,
like
thick with-
PHH.
yeah, like
Yeah.
multiple C's.
You need to have
Multiple
thick
Cs.
thighs
Thick.
with your fatty dumpy. And if you don't, then that's an automatic BBL.
Can we strictly call them fatty dumpies?
Fatty
I
dumpies.
love fatty dumpies. Yeah.
Fatty
I'm all in
dumpies.
on,
I
I'm
love-
all in on
I
fatty
think
dumpies.
we need fatty dumpy merch.
Fatty dumpy merch.
Fatty
Fatty dumpy merch.
I don't
What
know
would that
if I'd
even
wear
look
that.
like?
But like, just
wouldn't.
ass cheeks that says fatty
That's
dumpy.
like the Jersey Shore merch with like the shorts that say like
Right.
fatty dumpy.
I think
Yeah,
I
or,
like
like,
would wear
big
that. That I would wear. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just as
I would
big
wear like a
tits on it.
cutoff. I would wear a cutoff tank top that said fatty
Fatty
dumpy, I think, with like
dumpy,
a dump
yes.
truck picture
Yes,
at the
yes.
Jersey Shore. I would
Or
wear that.
T-shirts that just have a fatty dumpy on the back, so it's long enough that you
Yes.
look like you're walking
Love.
around
Cover your
with
fatty
a big
Love
dumpy.
it.
Yes.
Love it.
Well, so you're saying you have to have, because it does not look real. You can tell an ass.
Doesn't look
you can
good.
tell an ass is fake when their thighs do not match the ass.
Yes, 100%. Thigh to ass ratio is so important. If you're gonna have a fat ass, your thighs need to match.
Your thighs touch if you have a fat ass.
Yes,
absolutely.
Your thighs touch if you have.
You
a
don't
fat
have a
ass.
thigh gap.
Yes.
It's also, I think what you're saying too with the ratio, it's almost like it's like your ombre, but your ass. You know, like your ass to your thighs. It's like it has to like flow down and like get smaller slowly, not like dump truck and then like toothpicks.
Exactly.
It can't be that.
You look like a wisdom tooth.
Yes.
You do. You do.
Yes, absolutely.
I could say the Kardashian family looks like wisdom teeth.
Now,
all of my wisdom teeth
they do look
removed.
like wisdom teeth.
All of the Kardashian asses are fake, by the way. Like, we need to get that on record.
All of them.
Every single one.
All of
Even
them.
They probably have some ass shots.
It varies.
It varies.
I would say
some
let's
have like
clarify
the juicy
fake.
implants.
When I think like fake ass, I think the juicy implants, whatever. I think it's totally reasonable that they have had like fat injections in their ass. But would you say that's like a fake? I mean, I guess it's a fake ass.
If I shot my fatty dumpy up with
all that other fatty dumpy fat.
Yeah, they take
from my other
fat and
from
put
my
it in their
stomach
fatty dumpies
and put it into my
wild.
butt, and then told you that my ass was real, you would be like,
Why?
"No, Rhea, you made your ass look like that. Like that's not real."
And that's why they
guess
look
I
like
would.
hourglasses, because they take their stomach fat and put it into their fatty dumpies, and then
That's
they
true.
look like amazing. And then the whole standard of beauty is to be a wisdom tooth.
They look like amazing in photos, I will say, because I bet
I wanna see them in real life.
I've seen Kim K's ass
get in
in
here.
real life.
Literally, get in here, Kim, and tell
Shit's
me.
huge.
I
Oh,
know it's huge,
I
but
just want
I
to
need to
show you
wonder
guys
if it's
these
like
pictures
knocked
real
me
quick.
out.
like is it like I mean of course Kim is beautiful.
Okay, these
Is
are
she look as hot as people think
these
she is?
are okay. So, like I just said, we were talking about how thigh to ass ratio matters. So
Yeah.
I screenshotted Black China. Nicki Minaj, love her to death, still has a
she is
fake
the
fatty
fakest-
dumpy.
She is the fakest ass of all.
I mean, and they all admit
Nicki.
it. But
Yeah.
these are the worst fatty dumpies with like toothpick thighs. So take a look at, just swipe to the right. So we have
them out loud. Yeah,
the
who's-
Okay.
huge,
who do
this
we
is
have?
Black China.
So you have Black China, who has a huge bubble butt, but small thighs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like her butt's real.
It's just
And
like
it's
a bad
definitely
ass
not
job.
real.
Right.
Look at Nicki.
Nicki Minaj's ass is definitely not real. Like we had, like,
No,
have
her
you guys
shit-
ever seen
no.
her on stage? That's not real.
No.
No.
Also, what's that
She
video?
says
Kim
it too.
Kardashian.
She has one video where it's
Not
like, very obvious.
real.
Yeah.
No.
Like
The last one is just worst ass job I could find on Google.
that's insane.
Yeah,
like
it's
people
really
really
nuts.
get that nowadays.
People-
They
get
look like
ass
they
jobs.
look like this is a weird reference. I feel like you guys will definitely get it. Carl from Jimmy Neutron.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
That's like
Yes.
what I'm thinking in my
Yes.
head.
Skinny
It's
ass
like his skinny
legs.
legs, and he has like that fat. It's almost like a fupa. That like,
Yeah.
but it's
Yes.
but these people, it's like their ass. But
Yes.
most people, if
They're
they
like
are like
ants.
that, it's like it looks like a spare tire.
Yeah.
But instead, it's just their
so
ass.
why
It's interesting.
are asses so attractive now? You know
Why
what I
are
mean?
they?
Like when we were really young, right?
Yeah.
It was boobs. It was
Yeah.
like when you grow
Always
up.
boobs.
You were hot if you had a flat ass.
When I grow up, I want to have boobies.
don't know about all that.
You know?
Were
no,
you?
like when, like in the 90s or the 80s, like it was like flat.
Yes.
Oh, actually,
skinny,
you're right because
yeah.
like high
skinny,
waisted, like
yeah.
skinny,
No,
skinny.
low
yeah.
low rise skinny jeans.
No, that was more
skinny-
like late night. Like low rise was like my time. I
No,
feel like
yeah,
90s, like early. Well, I was born in 1990, so like early 90s when I was a baby, it was more so like high waisted skinny jeans.
Yeah, it was like
based on all the
everyone,
like
like,
drunk
flat.
pictures of my mom and her
Yeah.
friends. Like that's what she's wearing. So I assume that.
So I feel like when we grew up, it was like I want to have boobs when I get older.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like
All
when
I
we were
wanted was
little, it was
boobs ever.
boobs. Yeah.
I was so happy when I found out that guys liked big asses because I don't have big boobs, and I was like, okay, I can work with something with my ass though. Like that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
I can
And
get
feel
this
like
going.
you
Yeah.
learn- honestly, I didn't really know that like having an ass was considered something I should have until 6th grade. We were on a field trip somewhere, and I bent over, and kids from another school were like, "Damn, she has no ass." And I was like, "I'm in 6th grade, bro. Like, of course I don't have an ass.
like, I don't got shit yet.
I didn't even get my period yet. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
like,
have
get
an
out.
ass. I'm not even going through puberty.
I'm
know-
a prepubescent child.
Right.
Of course I don't
Did
have
you
an
guys
ass.
ever, I'm thinking back, definitely in the 7th grade I did this, and I had no ass, obviously, and I was stuffing my bra. But at the same time, did you ever purposely wear like G-strings or thongs and stick them out of your jeans, like for boys in class to see behind you? We all did that, me and my friends.
I didn't.
It was very
No,
embarrassing.
I
But
didn't-
like I loved it. I loved the
I
attention.
don't think that was like a thing when I was
wore
at
a
least in middle
uniform
school.
every day.
Oh, right. I forget your experience. I went to public school, so it was like,
a little more.
but it was like public school in like a richy rich town. Like it's the county is like a little, they all are full of themselves when I say that. But
it was yoga pants for me, like tight yoga pants.
We had the
best pair from
solos and
Abercrombie.
hardtails,
Yes.
solos and hardtails. That's all we used to wear. Juicy sweatsuits, but also tilt jeans from PacSun. I remember specifically sitting in like a science class. I don't even know what the fuck. And there was this kid behind me who like wasn't that cool, but I just like really wanted his attention. Like I don't know why. It was again 7th grade, dying for attention. Don't know why. And I had a hot pink G-string, like not even just a thong, like just a piece of dental floss up my ass. I don't know where I bought it. Maybe like the store Mandy's, which is no longer like available.
Loved Mandy's.
What a good store though, right? And then you could buy like 5 thongs for $20 or whatever. Bought this thong.
Still have that at Victoria's Secret.
I know. It's like Victoria's Secret still does it today, except it's like 4 for $80. Anyway, so I like had tilt jeans on, which are like light wash with no pockets, like just ridiculous jeans. And I remember like purposely pulling up.
Painted on.
Like pulling up my G-string, even though I had no ass. Like it was just like as if I like strapped it onto like literally a 2x4. Like that's what the thong looked like on my body. And I was like leaning over in my own desk, like taking notes with my whole ass out, and for no reason. And I don't know. Yeah, it was weird.
7th grade.
And I also don't know.
Call me a predator.
Your science teacher has a boner. He goes to
like I don't. It wasn't even and like wasn't for my science teacher. It wasn't even for him.
Saw you.
It was just like for the attention of like the weirdo behind me. And I was just like, and I still to this day don't even know if like he saw. I was just doing that. I was just like putting on my own show, like check me out, like look at my G-string, like look, I wear G-strings. Like I think that was the
you were just trying
thought
to be,
behind it.
No, you were trying to be
like I'm popular enough to like wear G-strings.
Like,
check it out.
I got my first thong. Like I remember buying my first thong. Wouldn't ask my mom. Like I remember me and my best friend went into Victoria's Secret. We got matching thongs and we were like, we have thongs now. Like it was cool to just like wear a thong.
I mean, if you didn't have matching thongs with your best friend, like what?
Were you even best
did you even go to school?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I didn't start wearing thongs until I had my boyfriend in high school when I was in 10th grade, and I was like too embarrassed to ask my mom to take me to buy thongs or like buy thongs myself. So I would steal my sister's thongs, and that's disgusting, I know, but I would.
That's your sister, whatever.
Yeah, I would steal her thongs, and she started catching up to me on it. Catching up to me on it.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
She started figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I remember we were all sitting in the kitchen in front of my parents. She freaked out because one of her thongs was missing.
Oh my God.
Found it in my room and said, "You never wanted to wear thongs. You never wore thongs. The only reason you're wearing thongs is because you have a boyfriend now," in front of my parents. And I was like, honestly, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you.
That's
like, you're a piece of shit for blowing me up like that. You're my older sister. You're my older. You're supposed to teach me. You're supposed to teach me. Yeah. Here, borrow my thong.
I was also going to say, why didn't you have thongs if you had an older sister? Like, I feel like
because
that, I didn't have an older sister, so I had to like.
To me
same. I had to go buy them secretly.
Until I was older, like until it was later in high school. Like by like junior year of high school, I would say my sister was closer with me, and now we're really close. But before that, no, she didn't really like me that much. Well, I was the younger sister. I was the youngest in my family. What's the age difference
between you guys?
6 years.
Yeah. Me and my brother are 7, and I treated him like a child for a long time.
Yeah.
Now we're like, we're close.
That
then we were
honestly made me mad again. Like, what a fucking bitch.
Are you
I'm like mad on your behalf.
I'm gonna text her. Remember
you should text her and be like, hey, fuck you for that.
She also did that to me about weed once too. I would go because we have this part of my house that is a basement that they turned into an apartment for my sister, and I would go downstairs into her apartment, smoke a bowl outside the door. And one time we got into a fight in front of my parents once again, and she said, "Well, how about you tell mom and dad how you go downstairs to my apartment every night and smoke weed?" And I was like, "Are you fucking joking me?"
She
always blew up my spot. Yeah,
she hated you.
Always blew up my spot. Now we're chilling. We
Snitches
smoke in front of my
stitches.
parents, and they're cool with it. But like,
snitches get stitches.
We have to go teach
the
her
national no
lesson.
snitching policy.
Yeah.
We all know this.
pull up.
Let's
Bree.
pull up.
Yeah. Bree's like, I had a little bit of vodka. I might show up like unannounced. You never fucking know.
No, you're ready.
She's got Pink Whitney under the table.
Yeah,
she's got it under the table. I have another question for you guys concerning. Well, actually, I wanted to make a statement first.
Okay.
I think that asses look like boobs without nipples. So that's just something I wanted to say.
This is true. Is this why
thought that last
people
night.
like asses more?
Maybe like
because
who knows?
they're just
I don't really
boobs
have
with no nipples.
Yeah, I don't have thoughts thoughts on that really? Like, sure, if we want to get into like logistics, yes, there's like, if we're going the porn route, it's like a whole sure. But also, it kind of ties into my next question. What's like the first urge you have when you see like a fat ass? Like, I think if I see a fat ass, or even like a cute little like you, like babies have cute little butts. You're like,
don't bring babies into this.
I know.
No, I do not bring babies into this. What do you want to do to a baby's ass
general,
when you see it?
I want to squeeze it.
No, but I do. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to. I would like a little squeeze, little squeezy squeeze. Little
so what's your you're asking what's your first? So what no baby asses.
No
what
baby
is
asses,
your first thought when you see a fatty dumpy on a bitch?
Yeah.
Slapping it.
There you
You're
go.
slapping it.
I'm giving that ass a nice.
I want to I want to clap it and see it jiggle.
Like, okay, girl. There it is.
What are they? The
trombone.
Yeah,
I said trombone.
They're
no clappers.
Cymbals. Yeah.
No, that's a triangle.
No, that's a high top.
The clappers. Let's call them.
I think that they're cymbals.
Clappers. Yeah, cymbals. Well, you can look.
No, there's something ongs. Like they're
gongs.
Dong
gongs.
Just gong.
No,
a gong is like one. Bow.
Yeah, that's
one.
Boom.
Cymbals is where like you see the monkey and it's you wind it up and it's
okay.
I think it's just let's just call it a clapper.
Yeah,
like an ass clapper.
Like an ass
clapper.
I want to see an ass clap like
that
that when I see a fatty. What do you want to do an ass?
That's what I'm saying. I just want to squeeze it. I just want to give it a little squeeze, see what it's like. But then I think about like people like Kim K or Nikki, whatever. I'm like, if I squeeze your ass, I don't think it's gonna feel as good. What's it gonna feel like? I think it's not gonna feel like bowls full of jelly. I think it's gonna feel like plastic. I think it's gonna feel weird or too hard almost. Kind of like with like guys who have like really big muscles who maybe from afar they look good, but when you were like snuggling with them, their muscles are like too hard.
And it's like they twitch in their sleep, and it's like, dude, you just fucking broke my neck.
You killed me. Yeah,
I don't like that. But what is like, okay.
I want like a juicy
I feel
situation.
Like to everyone, like the best ass. Like if you were to say my top, not like person, but like what is your favorite type of ass? Like personally, my favorite type of ass.
Good question.
I could talk about ass all day.
My
favorite type of ass is like an athletic, like ass, but like an athletic big ass.
Are you talking about a boy's ass?
No, I'm talking about girls.
Girls' ass.
Like, I think it just looks more...
an athletic ass.
Like an athletic,
like
nice
somebody
ass.
who goes to the gym and does so many squats.
Athletic like yoga or athletic like
No, athletic
sports.
like you squirt.
You see
like,
the
you
muscle
squat,
in the hip.
You squat
like lacrosse
like
girls or like soccer girls. Like those kind of
soccer
asses.
girls. Soccer girl ass.
Soccer girls have great asses. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
All that running, I think.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah.
Soccer girl ass for me.
I would say like a Meg the Stallion ass.
Yeah. That's a good ass.
Like a fat. Like
that's my favorite ass.
Where she just like her ass has honestly like its own zip code.
Natural
like it has its own zip code.
Rules.
It moves on its own. Like she's standing there and she is straight from the waist up, legs down, but her ass is moving all over the place.
I
like,
would
how
say
do
hers
you
is
do
natural.
That?
Would you?
I think so.
I think
so,
her
definitely.
ass.
That's why I said hers just looks like a natural fat ass.
Natural fatty dumper.
It's great. It's
yes.
great. Can I say my favorite ass?
Yes.
It's any of the cartoon variety. I think that the cartoon asses
let's talk about that.
Are so like obviously they're unattainable, they're ridiculous, but like Miss Incredible,
so unrealistic.
Even like Meg from Hercules, I think hers is all hips, but for some reason it's like that small waist, like big titty, small waist.
But they always have the thigh ratio. They got the good thigh ratio,
right? Which is. It's fantastic.
Curves.
Yeah.
Timmy Turner's mom.
Timmy
Turner's
mom.
Gary the snail. Gary the snail's ass is crazy.
Fatty dumper.
I also think too, especially with like cartoon asses, even like if it's like, in clothes, whatever, but like SpongeBob does a really good job of it. They're always like weirdly showing butt cheeks in that show. Like I don't know why, but they always do. True, but they always do like the shine. Like they draw in the shine of like a shiny butt cheek. I think it's the funniest thing. Like I don't know why I die laughing over it.
Whoever works at Pixar is an ass man. They
love
making big asses for no reason.
Without
like Mrs. Incredible.
She did not have to be made like that.
Why is she built so great?
She looks amazing.
Amazing. They say that Instagram created unrealistic body standards, but fucking Pixar created unrealistic body standards with Mrs. Incredible.
Cartoons.
Cartoons in general have fucked up our brains.
They're like, you need to have the smallest waist, the fattiest dumper, and the nicest thighs. Like
nicest thighs. And also even too like
black
the best
hair and green eyes.
Yeah, the best hair, the biggest eyes, the poutiest lips. It's like,
Cartoons are perfect.
Fuck cartoons, man.
Fuck cartoons.
They don't have to do shit, and they're just drawn that way.
Yeah, and they want us to think it's Instagram.
They don't work out.
It's wild.
Bitch, the horny
They were
pedophiles
drawn that way.
that.
They're fucking fake.
That's what I'm saying. They're fake as fuck.
Just as fake as Instagram.
Obviously. I have one more thing that I want to say to you guys about asses, and I thought about this last night, and it's a poem.
Okay.
And I'm gonna read it to you.
Okay.
Oh.
It's just a very short poem. Hillary Duff is not quite old enough, so I ain't never seen a butt like that. Maybe next year I'll say ass, and she'll make my pee-pee go da-doing, doing, doing.
Doing, doing. Eminem.
That's by Eminem. It's the song Ass Like That.
Yep.
Just wanted to share that with you ladies.
Yes, that was
I thought you'd appreciate
beautiful.
it.
And
you're welcome.
That's
it would be a sin if Noah didn't play Ass Like That by Eminem.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the next segment of the podcast. It's going to be called the open mic section of the podcast. And I actually like this a lot for the reasons that I like to hear from other people. I like to hear other people being funny. I think that everyone is so hysterical all the time, especially we're a weed podcast. We're not really a weed podcast, but it's like we have that kind of vibe. Yeah. And it's like, I think that kind of humor is just so fucking funny, and people have the most hysterical thoughts. And so I think that when people will eventually call in, or they will DM us and they'll say all these things to us that have to do with our topics, I like to highlight these people, and we can laugh along with them and give our thoughts on what they have to say. And so let's start again with ass. We were just talking about asses. We asked a bunch of people, all of our following, by the way, follow us, BC We Got High on Instagram.
And Twitter.
And
there will be a hotline, so we'll be playing voicemails at some point. For the first episode, we did DMs, but you will be able to call in, and actually it'll be like you're like a guest on the show.
Yes.
So,
and there will be a behind-the-scenes TikTok because we got high, so you guys need to follow that as well.
Yes, there will.
BC We Got High.
Yes.
Get everywhere. Excited. Get excited. So this person, I won't say, this time around, I don't know who wants to be anonymous, who wants to not, so we'll just keep everyone anonymous this time around. As far as ass is concerned, this person says, ass, humans are so weird. An ass is made to keep us balanced when walking and running, but add sex into the mix from a guy's point of view when you're beating cheeks. It's seriously the greatest sound, feeling, visual image. And now forever embedded in our brain from the dopamine dump. Beating cheeks equals life.
Put it on a shirt.
We hearted it immediately. Put it on a shirt. Beating cheeks equals life. Put it on a shirt. Fucking loved that shit. I'm thrilled with that. I love
shit
it.
made me die laughing. I responded,
so
I think,
you did. LMFAO.
I was crying laughing. And it's such a good point, though. Like, think about it. Everything made up on our body is for a reason, right? This person says asses are made for us to balance. I didn't know that, but apparently that's true.
I never knew that.
But think
I had
about
no idea
this. And, he said, an ass is made up to keep us balanced, but it's also the greatest sound and visual. It's also the grossest thing your body can do. Like,
easily.
Your ass is so attractive, but it's also the least attractive thing at the same time because you're pooping from it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's
fatty shit. Fatty shits from the fatty dumper.
It's
literally called a dumper because
it is a vessel
dump.
For excrement. It's disgusting. I won't even, I will go as far as to say, vessel of excrements before I say, poop.
See, I take fatty shits. Like, I love that.
I feel like I knew that about you without knowing that about
I'm like, I shit. I think a lot of people are jealous of me because I have the greatest shit schedule ever. Like, I have a consistent poop schedule, and I know.
I'm happy for you.
Do you go multiple times a day?
Multiple.
I only go once a day, and it's right in the morning when I wake up.
That sucks.
Yeah,
so
I'm pretty much.
You wake up at around 9 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. Just think about me.
Think about shitting. And then think about me shitting 3 more times a day.
No, I want to die. I truly want to crawl up and die right now. Please murder me.
I usually don't like talking about that, but
it's
made me feel so comfortable.
Why do you think people are uncomfortable about it though? I don't know why I'm so comfortable about it. I just am so uncomfortable about it.
Dogs take fatty shits. Like, why?
Yeah, my dog.
But even dogs, a friend of mine.
A pedophile. It's
true. That's a fact. That's a fact. But one of my friends got a one of my best friends got a calendar for Christmas that's the pictures are like dogs pooping every month. Like it's a fun, it seems funny because they're all in that position,
Yeah.
But I see that position and I'm like, fuck, that's so gross. Like I would die if somebody gave that to me. I would literally drop dead and burn it and throw it in the trash. But people die over that. And I was like, I bet that calendar is best selling. I bet anything.
It could be,
Asses, man.
Asses are
we
crazy.
love them.
Here's one from about anxiety. which I think is very interesting. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before about how I don't really like see a therapist at this moment. Why the fuck is it so hard to get a goddamn therapist when literally everyone has anxiety? That is a great fucking question.
That is a good question.
And I think that also, the question kind of makes us like toe the line of like, you know, healthcare, but which we don't really need to get into that. But
not trying to get into that.
We're not trying to like get political. But it is true. Like people don't think, and I am one of those people where I'm like, it just sounds like so much fucking work. Like, oh my God, how do I even start? Like I just, you know, I got to go on like ZocDoc, or I got to ask a friend of a friend of a friend. And it's
I think that's why I've
so much effort to do
never done it, because I think it's like such a fucking process.
It's an effort. Rhea, how did you like figure out your therapist? Did you just like
my dad goes to a therapist, and then you know, big switch around.
Yeah, I was like, oh, now all of a sudden,
and his therapist. He was telling his therapist my issues, and his therapist was like, I have somebody she can talk to. Not me, because she was like,
right, no,
that's a conflict of interest, and like, she's probably going to complain about you, dude. So like, we need somebody else.
Can't be the same. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of seems like a disaster.
You would think there would be more therapists available, especially right now.
Or it would like just be easy. Like I will say, an easy thing. Some of the apps I think which are great, the like Talkspace, Headspace, like all those Talkspace specifically. I have tried Talkspace before. It's, you know, fucking expensive, but it's also like you can text with a therapist basically, but you don't really know the vibe. And this was a couple of years ago, so I'm sure it's better now. But it's like it didn't fit for me, but I know that other people love those things. So
especially
I'm like,
if you're like in a space where like I need to talk to someone.
Yeah, like I have nobody else. I got to talk to somebody. And so that's, you know, I have now transferred that burden to most of my friends when necessary. But, you know, a therapist probably would be ideal.
Maybe I should get one too.
The last section, obviously we're going back to alcohol, but it kind of directly...
Well, I want to mention one, before we go back into alcohol, one thing that somebody sent in that was so true.
Oh, fuck, yes. This one's good.
Anxiety is just conspiracies about yourself and your environment. Wow.
So true.
That one blew my fucking head off.
Anxiety,
I was like,
really
you know
same.
what?
Conspiracy theories about yourself.
Yes, anxiety, that is what she said. Anxiety
it's so
conspiracy
fucking
theories
true.
about yourself. You are just making up scenarios in your head that
about yourself.
So true.
And what could possibly happen that are not going to happen, probably not going to happen, probably didn't happen
Never
already.
Going to happen.
Fake life. So I wanted to get that out there.
No, you
don't realize it until 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. Wow. I feel like I need to write that down somewhere and just like
I want that.
we'll post it.
I want a tattoo.
We'll post it.
I want a tattoo of that.
Right.
So I can look every time I'm like, fucking, you're an idiot. Someone is staring at you right now. Anxiety is just conspiracy theory about yourself. Like,
exactly.
That's what I want.
I love it. The last one I will say, it's about alcohol, but it has a little bit to do with weed at the same time. Someone wrote in and said alcohol should have, random thought, alcohol should have always been more frowned upon / illegal than weed. So the idea is like, why is weed seem so taboo? Why is weed so bad when alcohol is like fucking everywhere? Like I get one is like completely legal and has been legal for a long time. And then the other is like almost like kind of new. People are still whatever. But even the stigma of it when it wasn't like totally illegal and it was really popular in the 60s or whatever, the stigma was always like everyone's like, you know,
you're a
pothead, you're a hippie, you're this, you're that. Like, what's the deal? And then kind of going off of that, we'll talk about that in a second. But a friend of mine from college reached out to me, a girl in my sorority who was older than me, which I feel like I laugh now thinking back like I was in a sorority. Like I am not like that bitch anymore. But this friend of mine responded and was like so excited about the podcast with us, and then said, like, here's to being a boss ass bitch who can also toke up occasionally. Do we think I can get all of my fines back from standards, which was like you would get fined if you're smoking or whatever. And then she reminded me that another one of my sisters got literally kicked out of our chapter because she was smoking weed like in her house that she lived in. And it happened to be like, it was an on-campus house that was like kind of a central meeting point for people in the sorority. So it wasn't like deemed the whatever, it's capital, the KD house.
Yeah.
It wasn't like deemed that by nationals or whatever the fuck, but it still kind of was. And she was smoking weed in the attic with a bunch of people, and she literally got kicked out of our sorority. This is the year 2011. Kicked out. Which
but
is,
if people were drinking,
crazy.
If people were drinking,
it would not have been. Exactly. It would not have been the same thing.
That's
and
a double standard.
It's
crazy.
Double standard because also alcohol has way worse effects on you
way worse.
than weed does. It's not
proven
even close.
So. Proven so.
People
we
die
are
from alcohol.
Though.
Yes. People die from alcohol. People do not die from weed.
They fall asleep and eat too much.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oops, I ate. You know, you don't black out from weed.
No.
You just, you
maybe
feel
you're
really high.
You gotta sit down.
Or whatever it may be. But you're having a good fucking time. Alcohol always leads to something.
You could die. Like, you could literally die.
You could die in your sleep. You could lay down. You could fall asleep facing up, throw up in your mouth, die.
But
in 6 hours.
Like, worst that's going to happen, you're going to have the craziest dream of your life.
Yeah, exactly. You might choke on some food.
You might send yourself to the hospital with a fake panic attack.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
And is that too bad? No, you're in a good place right now. You're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
it is wild.
It is so insane to me that weed still in places is not legal, and then alcohol is just, it's a fucking free for all.
There's like a stigma, and especially like at least my parents, not my dad so much, but my mom, if like she knows I drank, she's like whatever, but if she were to find out like I was smoking all the time, like thank God she doesn't know how to use social media, because like I now have a podcast about being high, but
right.
she would like freak out. Like there's such this stigma around smoking.
Totally.
But alcohol, it's like, oh, everyone drinks, but it's like weed is like not.
Even my parents are only now like just coming around. I'm age 30 and I still am like tiptoeing around like me smoking weed around my parents, and like they're more cool about it now, whatever, but they drink whenever there's an occasion to drink, they're drinking. So it's like, but why do you,
what's
the difference?
Yeah.
Thankfully, my parents do not give a fuck, because we've basically beaten them down to the point where they
Yeah,
cannot
that's nice.
say anything to us about smoking, because we just do it right in their face and like, there's no hope for them.
Oh, I
That's where we
would
can't even
my
help
brother
it.
and I are working on that.
I also think though, like when somebody's like, oh, I'm so drunk, everyone's like, yes, go girl,
Yeah,
let's get
true.
drunk, let's get rowdy.
It's like, you fucked up, you crazy,
oh my
dance on the
God, you're
table,
so
do
drunk.
whatever you want.
Ha, 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 you're so
You're
drunk.
so
Right.
quirky.
Yeah, but then when you're like, oh, I'm so high, people are like, oh, we get it, you smoke weed, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
we get
cool,
it,
bro.
you smoke.
Weed is tight. Weed is tight.
Or the people that
weed
will,
sucks, bro.
yeah, the people that will like post their beer on Instagram, right? Like, oh, I'm having a nice beer with my sunset, right?
Yeah.
And then
You
they'll
post
get mad at you if you like say
Post a
you're
blunt,
smoking or say you're
Yeah.
high. They're like, oh, you think you're so cool, and it's like, you think you're fucking cool posting that beer.
You're drinking beer, yeah.
It's crazy to me. And people who will like drink their heads off, drink their faces till their faces melt off, and they're like, oh, I can't believe, like I could never smoke.
I feel like drinking has worse
effects.
worse
That's
effects
absolutely
than smoking.
true. But also short-term effects. Like if I drink all night long, my head is in the toilet the whole day. I'm fetal position forever. If I smoke so much weed the night before, I probably wake up a little dehydrated.
I'm tired.
Maybe I'll have a little bit of, I'll have a couple sips of water and
I'm tired.
and just like be okay. Maybe eat a sandwich.
have the best sleep of your life.
Yes, sleep amazing. Like, you know, maybe I have like a little crick in my neck because I didn't move all night long. Like that's it.
Like, yeah, like,
but it's true what you said. Like they'll be like, oh, like cool, whatever. But they'll also be like, they discredit everything you say. Like I feel like if I say like, oh, I just smoked, they're like, oh, okay, so like whatever comes out of your mouth.
High
now.
thoughts.
Yeah, like whatever. Yeah, whatever comes out of your mouth is
you're
like
fucking blasted.
Yeah.
Right, like you're crazy.
Oh, what do you think about
Meanwhile,
aliens?
if I say, if somebody like, you know, if I have a glass of wine and someone's like, oh, did you drink tonight? Oh, I just had a glass of wine. It's like, oh, whatever, that's nothing. Okay, is it not the same as like
I had
a puff of my pen?
Yeah.
Like that's the same shit.
People do that to me all the time, because I would say that I smoke pretty often and I do it daily, and so I'm a very functional stoner, I guess one would say. I don't like being like, I'm a stoner, but that's the word for it.
But it is true.
But I am
why
very,
not?
like, very,
because people are like, people say I'm an alcoholic.
Right,
why
like,
can't we say
very,
that?
very functioning.
Yeah.
So, you know, I could smoke before I do a podcast. I can smoke, you know, right now.
Yeah.
I can smoke before I do any sort of work. I can smoke before going to the gym. I can smoke before hanging out with friends. Like, I am just very functional in that way. But because people know I smoke, when I say something that's just like me having fun, and also maybe I am a little high, whatever. They're like, oh, you're so high. And it's like, okay, but also this is a thought that I'm having that I want to discuss. Doesn't matter if I'm high. I want to talk about it because I'm going to think about it when I'm sober as well.
I would argue that it's almost like I would rather hear high thoughts than drunk thoughts, because people always say like drunk words are sober thoughts. It's like, okay, but high thoughts are also sober thoughts, but they just gave you the courage to say them. I feel like that
elevates you.
You almost have more integrity.
Interesting.
They
I feel like you unlock
they're more
new
insightful.
brains.
They're more like, oh,
Yeah.
you're like I've unlocked a corner of your brain that I didn't know
when I'm
that I could
like,
unlock.
I feel like when we're drunk, we'll talk about stupid shit, but when you're high, you'll like elevate your mind.
You learn something.
Yeah, and
I feel like I'm
harder. You think harder.
Yes,
when you're drunk,
100%.
you think less.
I will say when people don't smoke weed, and I'm not saying like you know, you don't have to smoke every day. But when people like refuse to smoke weed or whatever it is, I'm kind of like, damn, like you really just won't open your mind up to it because you know, like why not just open your mind up?
Like you can drink.
Do you think people have a hard time with like the smoking of it? Like I feel like people don't think about like edibles exist or, you know, like
you could
the
take
tinctures,
edibles.
the drinks, there are so many other alternatives. I think that I know like probably my mom would say something like she's not trying to smoke a blunt and she sees it as like smoking cigarettes, which are obviously different and worse.
I think that's my mom's problem.
I think it's like that kind of connection.
Well, you know, a blunt does have, depending on the wrap, have some tobacco.
Yeah,
so
it's true. It's
like,
true.
Whatever. That's besides
but
the
I
point.
don't like. But if you, but why?
Like
but why is
high.
not
Like you could take an edible,
right? An edible,
you
or
could
even
drink
oil
lemonade.
pen. Like,
yeah. You could drink lemonade.
They
You could
have
eat a
weed
brownie.
lemonade. Like you
Weed
could do a
tea?
cake.
I fucking love weed tea. That's
They
my
have
shit.
like gourmet meals that are infused with THC.
Yes.
Mashed potatoes with weed in it. You can have literally anything with weed in it.
That's an
Mashed
episode idea. We feast on just THC
Oh, yeah, that's happening.
infused
Yes.
food.
I can't wait for
Yeah,
that.
we go
They
to
do that.
California and we have a chef cook us up a weed infused meal.
Yeah,
Like,
I've heard about they like
mania.
have those parties. Like famous
Yes.
people out there. They're like, I think
Yes.
like Chelsea Handler had a party.
She
like
did.
that.
I watched
it's
the
like,
whole thing.
where
She
each
also
course
did, like,
was like a different
everything,
strain of weed, and by the time
Okay,
dinner
we're
was
doing
over,
it.
it was like a whole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta
field
do it.
trip. We're
Yes.
doing it. That
That's the end of the
sounds
story. We're doing it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We're doing it. And to really close out this episode, we have our next segment, the table read, where we will be doing scenes from movies, TV shows, whatever it is, acting our goddamn hearts out. It's for pure enjoyment, guys. We're not actresses, but we're trying.
Heart and soul.
We're putting our heart and soul into this, and we're going to get better each week. So let us know what you think. The first one is Superbad. Let's get into it.
Okay, guys, welcome to the table read. This is going to be a weekly segment, and this week we're doing Superbad, but we have range, okay? We're going to be going from sad to scary to funny to dramatic. We're going to do it all, and if you guys have anything you want to hear from us, let us know, because, you know, we're bitches with range, and we can do it all.
We absolutely can.
That's basically what this whole podcast is, being bitches with range. So exactly, Brianna.
Yeah.
Great point. It's a table read. We're going to just be... A table read is usually where people go through a script and they just read it, but we're going to be acting the shit out of these scripts.
Oh, we're going full out.
Yeah, I've been looking for an excuse personally to just act the shit out of my heart, and so I'm really excited now to be doing that with you
I'm
ladies.
hoping
so
to land a job at the end of this.
Same, yeah. We'll all be signed. Probably, you know, IMG, you know, anybody, all those people.
Right.
feel
If there's
free.
any agents listening, we are open and available to be in TV and
Watch
movies.
us progress, because it's going to be great.
It's going to be
Absolutely.
fucking fantastic. So we're going to go through Superbad, like Brianna said.
Yes. Okay. So I am playing Fogel. Rhea is playing Seth, and Kelly is playing Evan.
Obviously, because I love Michael Cera.
Yes.
Do you guys
Yeah.
know that? I'm like obsessed with him, kind of. Like I am in love with him a little bit.
Like you want to fuck Michael
yeah,
Cera?
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like since high school.
There's
And-
a lot of people like that, honestly.
Is it because of This Is the End?
So no, I loved him in Superbad. I was just saying this before. These bitches were not young enough, or were too young. I was old enough to see Superbad in theaters. I was 17. It was like exactly to my audience. And Michael Cera came on the screen, and he was just like nerdy and weird and sarcastic and dry. And I was like, I'm in love with you. So pretty much every guy I've dated since then is like Michael Cera.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well,
Yeah.
that's lovely. And if Michael Cera, if you're listening, Kelly's available. She's single. She's thirsty. She wants you.
Shout
so
out.
get on that.
She's ready to
She's
fuck
ready
you.
for some Michael Cera dick.
I've been ready for 10 years, baby. Let's go.
All right. So I think we are ready to go. We've been practicing.
I'm excited. I'm so
We've
excited.
been
you guys.
practicing
Yes.
and
We have.
listen, this shit's gonna get deep. Like we said, send us the scenes you want to see us do. You want to hear from us. We got range.
Electric.
Any
Exactly.
scenes. A
Yes.
3-person. It can be. We can do multiple characters, even if we want.
Even if there needs to be a narrator, one of us could be a narrator.
Noah can
Totally.
be a narrator. He's in
Yeah,
the
Noah's
room.
here.
Noah,
He is
our
right now.
producer. He's. By the way, we're going to be given Academy Awards by the end of this. Noah will
Yes.
be the Academy.
We should get like an actual trophy.
Yes.
Yeah,
That would
we
be cool.
Yes. We'll have to get
Engrave your
A
name.
lot
on
of
it.
We should have a trophy where you
Every
engrave your name and like cross it off every week.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
when you lose. Like
With Sharpie.
get it until
You're
you
the
lose.
trophy
You
and then
have
it's
it
like-
until the next time. someone
Yeah.
does it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That'd be cool.
Like
That's
Flat
beautiful.
Stanley kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flat Stanley.
fucking love Flat
You know what?
Stanley.
I sent my cousin Flat Stanley, and she never fucking sent it back. I mean, I didn't get a good grade on my project. But anyways,
Oh my God.
that's
Fucked
besides
up.
the point.
Sorry about
Noah will be picking the best actor out of all three of us. And
yeah.
you know what? We're going to be cordial, okay, guys? I think you all deserve it.
Yeah.
but
I think we all deserve it. But I think we all deserve it, and I think we're all going to act our hearts out. Regardless, we're all winners here tonight, ladies.
Yes,
we're all winners.
Well, not all of us.
No,
two of us will be losers. Yeah. But anyway,
you're right about that. But I'm going to pretend.
We're doing 2 scenes. The first scene is when Fogel brings his fake ID to the boys, and then the second scene is when we're at the liquor store.
The fucking
boys. You said that, I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm very excited.
All right, guys.
Here I am. Michael Cera.
Noah, say action for us.
Thank you, Noah.
Action.
Yo, guys, sup?
Fogel, where have you been, man?
You almost gave me a goddamn heart attack. Let me see it. Did you pussy out?
No, I got it, man. It looks flawless.
Hawaii? That's good. It's hard to trace, I guess. Wait, you changed your name to McLovin? McLovin? What kind of stupid fucking name is that? Are you an Irish R&B singer?
No, they let you pick any name you want when you get down there.
And you landed on McLovin?
Yeah, it was between that or Mohammed.
Why the fuck would it be between that or Mohammed? Why wouldn't you pick a normal name like a normal person?
Actually, Mohammed is the most commonly used name on earth. Read a fucking book for once.
Have you ever actually met someone named Mohammed?
Have you actually ever met someone named McLovin?
No, that's why you picked a dumb fucking name.
Fuck you.
Give me that, all right? You look like a future pedophile in this picture, number 1. And number 2, you didn't even pick a first name. You just put McLovin?
McLovin? One name? What are you, Seal?
Fogel, this ID says you're 25 years old. Why wouldn't you just put 21, man?
Listen up, ass face. Every day, hundreds of kids go into the liquor store with their fake IDs, and every single one says they're 21. How many 21-year-olds do you think are in this town? It's called fucking strategy.
Okay, all right. Let's stay calm. Let's not lose our heads. It's a fine ID. It's gonna work. It's passable. This isn't terrible, but it's up to you, Fogel. They're either gonna think, here's another kid with a fake ID, or here's McLovin, the 25-year-old Hawaiian organ donor. All right? So what's it gonna be?
I'm McLovin.
No, you're not. No one is McLovin. McLovin has never existed. It's a made-up dumb fucking fairy tale name, you fuck!
I'll take it.
And scene.
And scene. Woo! Got heated up there.
Good about that one.
All right. Now enter Fogel going to buy the liquor.
They're standing outside the liquor store. He's got that outfit on, right? Mm-hmm. All right, here we are. Are you ready?
Here's the money and the list.
Change is yours. Keep the change.
Okay, thank you. What's the list for?
The alcohol.
We're getting alcohol for the whole party, okay? We put a lot of time into this list, so don't fuck it up and get Sambuca again.
Okay. Ozo, bourbon, spiced rum, Gold Slick?
Gold Slick vodka. It's Rebecca. Don't forget that.
Okay. Raspberry vodka, scotch.
And Kyle's Killer Lemonade, a 6-pack.
Okay, this is a lot of stuff, man. I don't know if I can get away with this.
What difference does it make?
I don't know, man. I'm just like really nervous.
Are you okay?
No, man. I should have worn the vest.
Calm down.
No.
What the fuck are you doing?
What if I go in there and they turn me down?
Then we'll be in the same exact place that we are in right now.
Who cares?
It's fucking humiliating. Everyone in the store sees me kicking me out. What if they make me put the liquor back on the shelf? I can't do that.
God.
This whole thing is bigger than you, Fogel. Grow a pair of nuts and fucking walk in that store and buy the alcohol.
All right. What if I don't feel like it anymore, Seth?
Then I'll fucking kill you, okay? I'll get a knife and stab you through your fucking heart.
No. You can do this, man. Come on.
Killing me won't get you the alcohol, jerk off. I'm the one with the fake ID.
Then I'll cut your dumb little fucking face off and throw it over mine, get your ID, and go buy the alcohol myself.
Oh, really? You don't have the technology or the steady hands to pull off a procedure like that. So, peace.
Fogel, just be cool, man. Just get in and get out. You're a hero.
And scene. All right, Noah.
What do you think?
Give us feedback.
Yeah,
first.
give us.
Yeah.
Why don't you go down
you're
the
putting
line?
a lot of pressure on me.
No, it's okay.
That's fine. Yes,
Feedback. I mean, first of all, I thought you
Roast
all
us.
were great.
Thank you. You can roast us if you'd like.
You
No,
can talk shit.
I actually
up a line a
appreciated
little
your like facial expressions because it's like
Nice.
this is mainly a podcast. No one can see it, but
Yeah.
you got some
was
good,
true.
Good.
you got
She's
some
in
good eye
character.
rolls and that, and
that.
I actually. If I closed my eyes, I felt like you were Michael Cera.
Oh, that's
Did I give off those anxious vibes?
Yeah, like
That's what I was
very
hoping to
anxious,
do.
like
You were anxious.
same
Amazing.
tone.
Yeah.
And I felt the
it's easy for
fear
me.
I was
in
scared.
your voice. Like I really did. Like
I really didn't know what to do.
I loved that analysis,
Yeah.
Noah.
yeah.
All right.
No. And
I
like
think
the
that was
pitch
great.
was all good. So
Wow.
are we gonna call the award something, or like should I say Oscar? The Oscar goes to
What should we call this?
I don't know.
What should we call it?
Should we call it? I know we're all looking at our logo right now.
I'm like, damn, what should we call it?
The
tongue?
Because we got high.
The tongue, the lips. The lips. I kind of like that. The lips go to.
The mouth.
The mouth.
The mouth award.
Mouth
the mouth
award.
award.
Mouth award.
Okay, the mouth award.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
The mouth award.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Put in a drum roll.
Damn. And the first mouth award goes to Brianna.
Well done, Brianna.
Well deserved.
Mouth award is
Well
mine.
done.
Oh, go fuck yourself,
Bria is
Fogel.
devastated.
No.
You jerk face.
Ass face.
Honestly, when you came back with like whatever, jerk off, I was like, she's got it.
Yeah,
She's
no.
Fogel now.
Honestly,
I was into it.
Brianna, you deserve that. The
Thank you.
meltdown, everything about it. You did a phenomenal
I was actually
job.
sweating. Like I was like nervous.
I'm sweating
thinking
as well.
about
I
it.
was
Yeah.
sweating
Yeah.
listening to you. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, you deserve the mouth award.
I'm so honored, really, to get the first one. I wish we had a trophy. I can't even like live in it yet.
It's fine. It's theoretical.
Congratulations.
We
I
love
just
it.
have to win every week now.
Oh,
Exactly.
Now it's a battle. Now
Now we're battling. Yeah,
Kelly,
no,
we gotta fucking.
This is a fucking fight.
Kelly,
Yeah.
next scene that we pick, let's get.
Well,
Brianna, like,
trust
give
me.
me the
Trust me.
bad role.
I'll do a better, more us, less her.
Yeah.
It'll be.
Me and you
it'll
need a
be
little
nice.
dynamic.
Spill
That's what I'm
dominate.
saying.
Let's cut Brianna out.
Yeah, and let's do like maybe some drama where we can both be crying,
yeah.
maybe like a screaming.
Yeah.
The scene from The Notebook.
Oh my
Perhaps?
God, we know she can't cry on command. We
That's
could beat
true,
her.
that's
You guys have no idea.
And that's the end of this first episode, guys. First episode, episode 1, episode A.
Yes.
We did it. We're here.
So excited.
Rate, review, subscribe to us. Rate 5 stars if you like us, because we got high on iTunes, Spotify. Listen
Please
anywhere.
do.
If you're listening,
Yes.
then you know.
You have to
Yeah.
rate
But
us. You
yeah,
have to.
rate
You have
us,
to rate
review,
us.
subscribe. We can't say that enough.
Yes.
Please subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram, BC We Got High, on Twitter, BC We Got High, and then on TikTok we're gonna
Yes,
have it.
BC, we got high, baby.
And we talked about this on Instagram Live, but we really just want it to feel like a community feel.
Yeah.
We're going to be chatting with you
Friends,
guys on
just
Instagram.
friends.
We're friends hanging
Just a
out.
bunch
You
of
guys
friends,
should
yeah.
feel like you're our friends. We feel like you guys are our friends, and we just want to have a community feel with this and have a good ass time.
Yeah,
and
there's
I
no-
had to
there's
use
no
ass as an
shame.
adjective there because it's in this episode.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's no shame. There's no judgment. We're just
No.
we're just
Oh.
chilling.
We don't judge.
We're getting shit off our chests. Like if you want to get it off your chest, if it's
Free
funny,
therapy.
if it's cool,
Free therapy.
Free therapy, and if you're gonna judge us, then get the fuck out, because
Yeah,
that
get
is
out. We're not having
not what this show is about. This
Nope.
show is
No.
about saying whatever comes to your mind, DMing us whatever comes to your mind, commenting whatever comes to your mind. But if you're gonna judge us for the thoughts we have,
Get the fuck out.
Forget it.
Leave.
Judge Judy, you're fired.
Get the
Yeah.
fuck out.
yeah. But also stay and let's have a great time.
Yeah. Actually, rate and subscribe. Thank you.
Yeah. Comment too if you want.
Yeah, I will say we were like getting a little emotional about the amount of people that were already interacting with us.
Yeah,
So
we were
We're very
excited.
happy.
We're very,
happy.
very
very
excited.
grateful. Very
We are
grateful.
very grateful.
very grateful that
Thank
we
you
can
for that.
do a podcast called Because We Got High.
Yes, we
Yes.
are.